Thanks for choosing Newzroom Afrika. Let's bring you your sport now, and it's going to be focused on bringing you Rhyno Smith. Benetton Treviso this weekend recorded their first URC win on South African soil with a 1-point win over the Sharks in Durban. On the field was a former South African player, Rhyno Smith, who has found his place in Treviso. The fullback earned his 50th cap last month after having joined the team in 2021. The win in KZN this past weekend was particularly sweet, not only because it kept alive their hopes of a first URC quarterfinal place. Here's my conversation with Rhyno Smith.
Yeah, I think historic is a word that we can use to describe it. We're the first, look, URC hasn't been going on for a long time, but we're the first team of Benetton to come here and go away with a win. So first and foremost, now that it's been done once, hopefully we'll repeat it again in the future. But it required a brave group of boys to come here and really back ourselves. And I think we managed to do that. We managed to stay in the game until we were able to pull the trigger and just win it right at the end. So obviously awesome, very happy about that. First of all, because of our playoff hopes that remain alive another week. But then also just for us in general, as I say, moving forward, South Africa will be a part of our season every year. And for us to finally get the win on the side, it just means that next year when we climb on a flight to fly back here, we'll be a bit more confident, a bit more belief in camp that we can come here and actually take away points. So yeah, that on the one hand, excuse me. And then on the other, obviously, I played here. I lived here for 4 years. Awesome to be back in Durban itself. Really nice to see Durban nights, miss the people. I really do. Beautiful beach as usual. And then really just a pleasure and a privilege to go to the Shark Tank and, like I say, come away with points. My father was in the crowd as well, so a couple of personal victories and yeah, very satisfied with the weekend's work.
The next match for the Sharks in the EPCR Challenge Cup is the final. You, Benetton, have come close to actually going through to the final. You've been at the quarterfinal stage, at the semi-final stage, and you actually lost out on a place in the final to the team that the Sharks are going to meet. So knowing all that you know about the two teams and intimately knowing the Sharks, can you give us a prediction and an assessment of what you think is going to happen in that EPCR Challenge Cup final?
There's a reason I'm still a player and not a pundit yet, but if I had to venture a guess, I would say it'll be really physical, really tough up front. The mole battle will be an interesting one, and so will the scrum. I'll be watching that one carefully. If Gloucester kick as many loose kicks as they kicked against us, then I think the Sharks will punish them on turnover and on just the loose exchanges like guys like Fassi and Mapimpi. I think it'll be hard for Gloucester to stop that threat. But yeah, up front, I think it'll be a really good contest. It'll be a very near on international quality, two international quality packs going head to head. So whichever way it goes, I hope the weather holds up. It'll be interesting if it's dry. Obviously, if it's wet, I think for sure my money would be on Gloucester if it was wet. If it doesn't rain, then I think I put my money on the Sharks, if we're going to put money anyway.
if we were the betting type, but we certainly are the rugby watching type and the rugby fan type. So it is of interest to do that kind of assessment pre-game. Let's speak a little bit about Benetton Treviso and what has been an incredible journey for you in Italy. You've got over 50 caps now with the team, and every interview that I see that you've done about your life in Italy with your wife and your dog, you're incredibly happy there. Could you anticipate, or could you have anticipated, having left South Africa, that it would have gone this well for you?
No, for sure not. I think everyone is hopeful when you start a venture like that, especially if you're going to uproot like your family or I think everyone's hopeful it'll go like this, but you can just, you never know. I'm grateful that first and foremost, my wife was willing and able to like take on that adventure and that challenge with me. There's no doubt in my mind that if she said after 6 months, I don't like it here, we should move back, as is the case with many others across the world, in rugby, then I would have had to pack up my stuff and leave. Fortunately, she's been more than up for the difficulties and happy to be there when it's good times as well. And there are enough difficulties to go around. Going to the shop and buying milk is a thing that has become difficult, because what do you call lactose free? When you arrive there, you don't know these things. So it's been awesome. I've said before that the club as well has been great on all fronts, trying to make our transition as comfortable as possible. And there's a long history of having South Africans at the club, and I think that does help Treviso as a city kind of welcome foreigners in general, but us as South Africans even more so. So no, there was no chance I could have guessed it would have gone as well as it has. Obviously, on the field, things have gone well also, and I can only say that like all of the years of being in a couple of different sides, going through, again, hard times and good times, and playing in some finals, not playing at all for years or weeks or whatever on end, has formed me to be the player that and the person that I am today. And I think it's a divine intervention, divine timing, that me as the person that I am and the club in the position that they are, that we in like our journeys coincide at the same time. Because even if I had arrived ready at the club 5 years ago, but the club wasn't ready for the person I am and the type of player I am and so on, then that doesn't work, and vice versa the same. So as I say, there's a degree of, yes, we work hard and we prep while we can, but there's also a degree of we can actually just say God's timing is good, and I'm happy to be where we are.
There's also some good things happening just generally within the team. It's been 2-3 seasons of some decent results, getting through to playoffs. You guys are knocking on the door of actually making the quarterfinals at this stage of the round robin competition for the EuroC, which would be history for the team in the competition. There's a lot of South Africans, die wil durf come on as a player coach. Can you maybe just tell me a little bit about about his influence and about the community of South Africans and why it's working?
Yeah, I don't know. It helps that there was a large group of us when I arrived there 2 years ago. There was like 11 or 12 South Africans. We've since diminished in numbers a little bit, but nevertheless, there's this core group of people that does. Look, if you need your fix of a barbecue or some Afrikaans or whatever it may be, if you run out of rooibos tea, there's someone whose door you can go knock on, and that does help a lot. Dewald and his missus, they've been around for a long time. He was club captain when I arrived as well, and they play an integral part as well of just culture at the club and getting a couple of things going, sorting out some off the field like get-togethers and so on, so that our wives and families don't just sit in the house and kind of wait for us to get home. So definitely keep players like that. Having a core group of people like that helps a lot. It does help. You alluded to it just now, that the club is also pushing really hard from their side to develop, to grow, as the game is moving, they are really trying to keep up with all of that. So again, I say we're really lucky to be where we are, where the club and its management and us as a team and our management, everyone is reaching for the stars now. And we have the player group to be able to be pushing for those for finals, for playoffs, for things. And I think gone are the days where Benetton arrives as underdogs and we just need to take part. We are a team that wants to compete. We're a team filled with competitors and high quality players all around me. So yeah, again, we'll have to wait and see. This is the kind of competition where you mustn't speak too early, certainly. And even now, I mean, we in the second last week of the comp, and still now it's too early to speak. So it goes to show every weekend is important, and you're only as good as your last, and then you have to go again and prove it again on the weekend. So
as we wrap up, I just want to go back to something that I heard you say, that your advice to youngsters is that sometimes you may be a little bit uncomfortable, but if you're passionate about it, you must just stick with it. And then I found out that you were in the under 14D team at Paul Boys High, and I thought to myself, what an incredible journey from a young teenager through some of the most difficult times of your life in a rugby mad little town like Paarl, to have stuck at it in the under 14D team, and now, you know, not only played for the Blitzbok, represented your country, but you're now a professional living and working in Italy.
Yeah, I must say, when I recount the story, it sounds like it must be a lie, but it's true. I was so under 14D that I didn't even play one game for the under 14Cs. So that was it. I was there, and I was there on the merits, on my merits at the time. So, you know, those moments, those memories, those experiences, they shape you, and your response to those types of things are what define you, really. And I'm really happy and grateful that I can look back on it and know that I had people in my life. I spoke about my father. My father had a sit down with me once in that year, and I was just like, yes, you don't have to come watch. And he was like, why? And then I kind of said, look, well, like, I mean, I play on the 14D, like, you can just drop me, you can come get me after. And then he was like, I'm there for you. I'm not there for what team you play and what this you play. If you're embarrassed to play in that team, you must just tell me and we can stop. So you do this because you want to, you do this because you love it, or we don't do it at all. And I think conversations like that along my journey, I'm just so happy that I had those people in my life, because I know that there are people that don't have those, or when moments of difficulty and real, like, moments of impact in your life occurs, then sometimes it's very easy to go the wrong way with it, and you really only know it's the wrong way when you look back. But this weekend, for instance, we had my dad flew up, he came to the game, and I mean, what a privilege to see him. He's wearing his Benetton jersey, probably the only other Benetton jersey in the crowd. But, you know, to share that experience with him now, the same guy that came to watch me under 14D is now, he was out in the pavilion. So to have people that went through every step of that journey with me. And I mean, I still get messages from some of the boys that played with me under 14D, and they are quick to remind me as well. Hey, don't forget. And I genuinely don't. I do my, I remind myself very often, like, about where I come from and that, and it's all part of the journey. And I hope other kids playing at various levels like that can just tell themselves as well, like, look, not everybody has person X's story. Some people have to go, like, take the gravel road to get to the same destination.
All the best of luck this weekend. Thank you so much for your time.